The paddock is on fire at Silverstone. We've got some bombshell news for you today. McLaren is flying low in practice sessions, even making Ferrari worried. But wait, there's more. Mercedes is struggling to get their car right, while Red Bull is scratching their heads trying to figure out what's going on. And pay attention, there's a hot rumor about a potential driver swap involving none other than Daniel Ricciardo. It's going to be a video full of excitement and twists, so hold on tight as we spill all the details. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any news from this weekend that's heating up at Silverstone. Alright folks, let's dive into the topic that's got everyone dropping their jaws. McLaren is flying at Silverstone. Believe it or not, but the British prodigy Lando Norris topped both practice sessions on Friday. That's right, folks. Lando was grinning from ear to ear after the practices. He said, "A good start to the weekend. We made some adjustments, and I hit a much nicer window." You can feel the excitement, right? And it's not just Lando. Rookie Oscar Piastri is also making noise. He said, "We had a good session, good day. The car felt very good, just a few things to tweak." Looks like McLaren nailed the setups. The most impressive part, McLaren is leaving other teams in the dust. Even Ferrari, folks. Charles Leclerc said McLaren is in a different league this weekend. Imagine the desperation of the other teams seeing McLaren flying like this. Has McLaren finally found the recipe for success? Will we see Lando on the top step of the podium at his home race? We're just as excited as you are to find out. Now get ready, because we're going to talk about the giants that are shaking in their boots. Mercedes and Red Bull, the names that make everyone tremble, are sweating bullets at Silverstone. Let's start with Mercedes. After that win in Austria, everyone thought they'd come here flying. But, surprise! Lewis Hamilton is more than half a second behind the leaders. He said, "It felt good, but not as quick as the guys ahead like the McLarens." You can taste the bitterness in his words. Now, hold on because it gets even hotter. Red Bull, the team that seemed unbeatable, has its wings clipped. Super Max Verstappen, the man making it rain on the track, admitted they've got work to do. He said, "On the softs it wasn't so good, in FP2 the mediums felt a bit better." Even Max is scratching his head, and Perez, oh my. He missed the entire morning session and tried to catch up in FP2. He said, "It was a solid session considering we lost the whole morning. The car feels good. We need to find some balance. Can Checo recover or is the pressure too much? The scene is electrifying, folks. The top teams are stumbling while McLaren is soaring. Will we witness one of the biggest turnarounds in F1 history this weekend? The tension is in the air, the asphalt is burning, and we can't wait to see what's coming. Who would have thought Silverstone would give us such a show?" Now let's talk about Ferrari, folks. Charles Leclerc, the driver we always expect to fight for pole, finished the second session in fifth, 6/10 behind the leaders. Yes, 6/10. And what did Charles say? Hold on to this. "It was a tricky day, but we learned a lot. Now it's all about analyzing the data from both cars and making the best decision for tomorrow. I don't feel we're in the fight. Unfortunately, it looks like Red Bull and McLaren are far ahead this weekend." Wow, he practically threw in the towel. And Carlos Sainz? Well, he ended up in 8th place. The Spaniard is trying to stay optimistic, but you can sense the desperation in his words. He said, "We are obviously testing things to try and improve the car." Then he dropped the gem. McLaren seems to be a step ahead like in the last few weekends. Folks, the situation is tense. They're watching McLaren, once considered a mid-grid team, flying past and leaving everyone behind. It's like the prancing horse has turned into a pony. Can Ferrari turn things around? Or will we see the red from Maranello fighting in the midfield while McLaren battles for the win? One thing's for sure, Ferrari's crew will have a long night ahead, analyzing data and praying for a miracle. Guys, hold on to your seats because the bombshell coming now will shake the entire paddock. Remember the smiling Australian Daniel Ricardo? Well, it looks like the Honey Badger might be on the verge of a comeback to Red Bull. That's right. We have hot off the press news that Ricardo might be in line to replace none other than Sergio Perez. Can you imagine the earthquake this would cause in F1? Checo been on a streak of bad luck, dropping to 5th in the championship and not seeing the podium in the last 6 races. And you know how Red Bull is, right? They don't have much patience when it comes to performance. And look at what the boss Christian Horner said. "We want to see the Sergio from the first 5 races back. He knows it. He's aware of it, and he's been working hard to understand where he's falling short. Folks, that's practically a live ultimatum. But wait, there's more. Dr. Helmut Marko, who's known for not mincing words, dropped this gem. We'll know more during the summer break. Isn't that enough to make your hair stand on end? Will we see Ricciardo's triumphant return to the team that launched him to stardom? Or will Checo manage to turn things around and secure his seat? The F1 circus never stops surprising us, and we're here to keep you in the loop with every detail of this story. Guys, the plot is thickening faster than a rain cloud over Spa. Let's go beyond the rumors and dive into the implications of this possible bombshell swap. Think about it. If Ricciardo returns to Red Bull, it's not just Checo's future on the line. It's the whole team's balance. How would this affect the dynamics with Max? Would we see the return of those epic battles between them, like the old days? And there's more. This move could trigger a domino effect in the driver market. If Checo leaves Red Bull, where would he go? Could we see a mid-season game of musical chairs? But the crucial point is, does Red Bull really need this change? After all, they're leading both championships by a mile. Is swapping Perez for Ricciardo worth the risk of destabilizing a winning formula? And we can't forget the psychological impact. How is Checo handling this pressure? Every lap, every practice, every race is now a trial by fire for him to prove his worth. The backstage atmosphere must be tenser than a Monaco start. Will we see this tension spill onto the track? How will it affect the performance not just of Red Bull, but the entire grid? F1 always surprises us, but this story has the potential to be one of the biggest twists we've ever seen. We have an action movie scenario shaping up at Silverstone, McLaren rising from the ashes like an orange phoenix, leaving even the top teams in shock. Ferrari is more lost than a safety car during a formation lap, while Mercedes and Red Bull are scratching their heads trying to figure out what happened. And amidst all this, we have the drama worthy of a Mexican telenovela with Checo Perez and Daniel Ricardo. Will we see the return of the most famous smile in the paddock to Red Bull? Or will Checo turn things around and silence everyone? One thing's for sure. This weekend at Silverstone promises to be more unpredictable than British weather. We might see a McLaren on the top step of the podium, a Ferrari fighting in the midfield, or even a Red Bull sweating to maintain their lead. And you, what do you think will happen? Leave your craziest theories in the comments. Will we see Lando Norris winning in front of the British crowd, or will Lewis Hamilton show why he's the king of Silverstone? Don't miss a second of this epic weekend. Stay tuned to our channel for all the updates, analysis, and maybe even more behind-the-scenes bombshells. So buckle up, because the race for glory at Silverstone is just beginning. Thanks, guys. Don't forget to give us a like, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. See you next time.